Hello, everybody. As you know, my name is Guy Salvesen, and I am the Dean of the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences at Sanford Burnham Prebys Medical Discovery Institute. The Institute has spent more than 4 decades fostering a reputation for excellence in basic biomedical research. The graduate program, on the other hand, is relatively young. The program was founded in 2005 with a mission of educating students to become the innovative biomedical sciences of the future. And we achieved accreditation 5 years ago. This is an important date for us today because we're just celebrating the success of the mission, having recently celebrated our 50th graduation. Today, we're happy to welcome back some of our alumni who will share their experiences with the program and how it helped them frame their careers. And I'm going to introduce Dr. Monica Gonzalez, Dr. Philip McQuarrie, Dr. Paula Toto, Dr. Alessandra Dalanese, Dr. Ryan Graff. And they will tell you about where they stand right now, where they are right now. But let me just get a discussion going by asking you if you can tell us what attracted you to SBP and especially GSBS, the graduate program in the first place. Maybe we start with Monica.
Okay, so I was fortunate to be part of an internship. It was a collaboration between Cal State Fresno State and SVP. I served an 8-week internship in Dr. Salvesen's lab, and it was the first time that I really did research, and I just fell in love with it and the work that we were doing, which is cell death. And from there, I was motivated to apply to her graduate school, and it was the building foundation for my career as a scientist. And now that I'm a postdoc and I look back on all these memories, I appreciate them and value them even more because that is where I grew as a person and again, as a scientist.
So Monica, you're a postdoc. Where are you postdocing?
I'm postdocing over at UCSD in Dr. Joanne Trejo's lab.
Very good. So I'm going to go along the top of the screen here. The next person I see is Paula. Dr. Toto, tell us what you're doing right now.
Right now, I'm an associate faculty at Miracosta College. I teach for 2 different departments. I teach biological science department and the biotechnology department.
And what was it that attracted you to GSBS?
Different things. So the number one thing is that it was a small program. So we had like a group of students together in a small group, and the program always I feel like very personalized. Everyone in the program knew me by my name, and I really liked the fact that we could just join the program and start working on our thesis right away without having to do rotations, because I have done a master's degree before, so I knew exactly what I wanted to do. So this was also part of the program that was very good for my goals.
Thank you. A lot of students point out the small size of the program allows for more individualized attention and smaller classes, which makes the learning easier, I guess. So Dr. Alanese, you're next. Ale, what do you think about the program? What attracted you to it?
Yes, I was attracted by the program, by the professors that are part of the program, especially what became my PhD mentor, Pier Lorenzo Puri. I did like also the fact that the program was small. I didn't know a lot about it before joining, but the fact that it was small made me think that maybe we will have been followed and people were really gonna take care of us and make sure we will be able to fulfill our goals and bring up our full potential. And my expectations were completely met, if not exceeded, by the program, because what I realized is that since day one, I was never left alone. I had a great mentor, but also everyone around me and my mentor was always very supportive, and their goal was make sure that I, as well as all my other colleagues, will succeed in what then we wanted to do.
Great, thanks very much. And you'll hear that our alumni here mention the small size of the program. I prefer to think of it as right-sized, but that's okay. We can call it small. It is small. it's right-sized as well for us. Dr. Graff, Ryan, you're next. What attracted you to the program?
I was initially attracted by the fact of just the emphasis on clinical translation of science and finding things that are going to be useful to improve things for patients and for others beyond even just medical applications, just things that could be used very widely. But more specifically, I was very interested in the application of findings for betterment of cancer patients, in particular my area of expertise. And I really appreciated the exposure to industry. I really appreciated the exposure to sort of the breadth of like where does it start from? How do you go from an initial discovery all the way to clinical utility? Like how do you really bridge that gap? And that was very helpful in my career. I'm now a principal scientist at Foundation Medicine, part of the Roche Group, and we do this every day. And I really appreciate the experience and the opportunities that the program afforded me.
Very good. And I forgot to ask Dr. Alanese what her current position is.
Currently, I'm a postdoctoral fellow at the Whitehead Institute, which is a biomedical research institute affiliated to the MIT, and I'm working in the laboratory of Professor Richard Young.
Very good, thanks. Dr. McQuarrie, Philip, you're up next.
So I had the unique opportunity to spend some time in Christina Viori's lab when the initial program was kickstarted, and so I gravitated towards the program then based off of just talking with Dr. Dieter Wolf and Dr. Milana Hansen, and really finding balance between that work-life effort as well as, you know, the science side of things, because it is a research community. And so pulling all those research entities, loving the collaborations between, you know, different groups and different cores, just really helped me sort of solidify that, you know, that technology-based science approach. And so, you know, it's been it was a wonderful time collaborating with all the groups. You know, I like the retreats. It's just been great. And so, you know, it's helped me sort of progress into more a way, you know, sort of managing the science side. I'm director of product development here at Oncocyte. I've been here for about 5 years, and it's, you know, it's just, you know, looking at the clinical side of things, looking at the research side of things, and trying to put those two pieces together so that we can actually provide patients with an answer.
Very good. And anyone listening will understand clearly that we have a very diverse group of graduates here in the academic sphere, and the biotech sphere, and the industrial sphere. So that's great. So I'm going to open the virtual floor to you right now to discuss between yourselves your favorite memories of the program and the Institute. And you can just discuss it with each other. Anyone can take off on this.
So I will say that one of the things I remember most is actually, Dr. Salvesen, it is a panel that you organized of some of the folks who came through the Institute prior. If I recall correctly, there were, I don't remember all the names of the folks on the panel, but there's somebody who is a biotech entrepreneur. There's somebody who was an associate professor in an academic setting. There's somebody who is at another institute. There's someone who's a medical writer. There's somebody who, and there are just various people at different points in their careers, the diversity of things that are possible with a PhD in biomedical sciences. And I remember the panel just being so informative as to those possibilities and being able to ask them and be able to draw upon that network that exists in San Diego for the diversity of things that are there. And I remember specifically, there's one piece of advice that came, I think it was from Brendan Eppelman, he basically said, you know, it's very hard to find motivated help in biotech. That if there's something you're very passionate about and you know, doing the PhD demonstrates that you have the capability to learn, to think like a scientist. But if you are passionate about that too, just go and approach people who are working on these things, because there will be jobs for you, there will be a place for you. And it's an avenue that allows you to live a life of passion. And he is absolutely right. And so I must thank him very much for that. And I thank you, Dr. Salvesen, for putting together that panel.
Yes, and if I can continue, on that panel, there was also a science writer who I'm still in contact with, and she has
Oh,
helped me
wow.
a lot in teaching me how to write. And then when I wanted to look for a job as a postdoctoral fellow, she helped me write the application. And now I have put together, and I'm continuing to put together application for faculty. And she is still, you know, my #1 helper in writing it. And I hope we have a great connection now. And that's all thanks to Professor Salvesen and the panel that he brought together. That is, basically Sanford Burnham didn't just help me become a better person and a scientist, but is, even now that I'm not there anymore, what they made, they're still contributing to my continuous success in my career and as a person.
That's nice. Yeah, my great memories are the retreat, the graduate student retreats. I had great memories, like interacting with other graduate students, and like you guys said, the panels that you that the program would bring, different, you know, people with different expertise. That was always very helpful. So I miss those yearly graduate retreats.
I have several favorite memories, but I will only, I guess, name a few. One of them is the feeling of community. As everyone has mentioned, our group of graduate students was small, but that made it more meaningful because of the friendships that you gain. I still keep in contact with students that are there, and also students that we have all eventually graduated and defended. That's one. Two, the inclusivity and diversity, and not only for graduate students, but there was a program which Guy led with the Proy students, and it's super intelligent high school students that are interested in science that normally wouldn't have the opportunity to come to a research institute and do science experiments. Those are really fond memories that I have. One, I got to mentor a lot of high school students, and that was awesome during my time there. And two, it helped me develop and realize my passion for teaching. And I think that has been very crucial for my career. And three, I think it's just the involvement of Dr. Salvesen in all of the activities of graduate students, and also just having all the students come to his office and talk to him about anything, always having that open door policy. That's something that is truly wonderful.
Monica, I also participate with you on the teaching experience. Yes. And that was also for me what made me now pursue the teaching pathway. So I'm also very thankful and have great memories of teaching those high school students thanks to the CURE program.
Yes.
I think the greatest thing that, you know, we've seen is that from the start to where we are now, you know, I've seen such a great group of graduates come from the initial start of this, where, you know, when I started, it was basically, you know, we were throwing things together, and it was, okay, let's see if this works, let's see if that works. And I think, Guy, you've really been instrumental in creating, you know, from start to finish, something that, you know, or continue, something that's really going to be there, you know, going into the future. And I think, you know, the excitement that I really, you know, initially saw was just that passion for science and building a graduate school, you know, from scratch. And I really enjoyed that part because, you know, we were some of the first students to really participate in something very unique. And that to me, I'll never, you know, I'll always cherish that. And so, as you can see, it's such a diverse group of graduate students, you know, or graduates that, you know, you can look at the teachers, you can look at the professors, you can look at the postdocs, you can look at, you know, the industrial group, you know. So what I've seen come from this is you can do anything you want to do, you know, and that it gives you, the graduate program gives you that avenue to sort of guide you into that direction.
Well, I thank you all for giving me so much credit, but what's really important as well is the way that our students over the last few years have invested themselves in the program. one word, one concept I've heard from each one of you is passion. And passion is very important in our business, as you all know very well, because it's not rewarded financially to the extent it should be. So you have to be pretty passionate about it. I'm guessing that what I'm trying to say here is it's the involvement of the students and the rest of the faculty to create this this very good program that you've been describing to us. And one of the most important things we've tried to do is incorporate the wishes and the experiences of the students. So I hope we can still count on you to stay involved with us and give us advice about the way we can enhance the quality of the program. And from that perspective, I wonder if there's a few still in contact with a couple of, Paula, I guess, has mentioned this, or at least Ali has mentioned it. Are you in contact with other members of the SBP team still? Ali, you mentioned the writer, and are the rest of you in contact with the team? Or would you like to be in contact with the team?
I'm still in contact with Ale, that we should be from the same lab, and all of the other postdocs and PhD students from Lorenzo Spuri's lab. I'm still in contact with all of them.
So I'm in contact with Katia, which is still a student, with Betsy, who is in the lab that I was in, with Roisin, with Paloma. So a lot of graduates and a lot of students still, and also with like Nisha and Andrew. They're very good about keeping us involved and informed of the events that are going on. And it's also really neat to see on LinkedIn the progress of the students that are still there, and just the events also that are going on. And it just reminds you of like that special time that when you were at SVP.
Yes, I think that's very interesting to keep to enhance a network of not just graduates, but also the existing students in the program. So is there anything we can do to enhance that, to actually help you build this network?
What maybe will be useful is if we could have now that everything is on Zoom, it's easier. If we could have a Zoom happy hour with the students, it would be nice to meet them and be able, because we've gone through the journey they have gone. Obviously, each person has a different journey, but we can bring our experience, make new connections, and let's say they need something from here. I'm in Boston now. If they need something from here, whether it's for career or for fun, then I hope they will always be free to contact me, feel like they can contact me, and I'll be very happy to help them.
Yeah, likewise. I would welcome the opportunity to have more one-on-one discussions with either current students or those who are moving throughout their careers or whatnot. I mean, like Philip was saying, it's really a lot of the value is the students here and the networks that we're going to build, and let's leverage that. And I was actually quite frankly thrilled that I was reached out to about this video. I mean, this is really neat, and I'd love to, it's great to see everyone. I don't think I've actually seen the faces of some of my classmates in a long time. And so it's really cool, you guys. It's really good to see you guys. And if there are opportunities to help out and for folks here or folks coming through, that would be really, really cool.
Even prospective students.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. I've just taken a note of that you'd like to be invited to the current students have a virtual happy hour every couple of weeks after Data Club. You remember Data Club?
Yes.
And so what I'm going to do is ask them if they would invite you to their happy hour.
Perfect.
And then also recruiting too, because I'm always looking to recruit fellow alumni or anybody who's wanting to come to the dark side of industry.
Dark side. It's just we translate the things, we make the things happen. You
do. Guy, what's one of your favorite memory of the program?
One of my favorite memories of the program is something that Paula is not going to like very much. But yes. I remember in 2014, it was the World Cup semi-final between Brazil and Germany. And we were sitting, and pretty much the whole institute was crowded into the cafeteria watching it on the TV screen. And I was sitting next to Paula thinking, oh, Brazil's going to win this. I want to sit next to a Brazilian. So I went to Paula, and I think, right, and your mom was visiting as well. Is that right, Paula?
Yes, so then Germany scored the first goal, and my mother was nearby, and she said, oh, just come watch the game with us. So I stepped out to go get her on the parking lot. When I came back and I look at the screen, it was like 6-0 or something. I was like, well, that is a mistake. There is a problem with the screen. I only stepped out for 10 minutes. What is this? And everybody was looking at me like, oh, I'm sorry. And I had the Brazil shirt, and I was stuck with the Brazil shirt the rest of the day.
Oh.
That was right. I mean, it was a bit embarrassing for Brazil, but it was, for those of you who don't follow soccer, world soccer, that was probably the most unexpected result in history.
Yeah.
Yeah, and luckily Brazil are coming back right now, back to their natural place at the top of the heap. But yeah, that was a very strange memory. But I was looking forward to it because I was sitting next to a couple of Brazilians. It doesn't get any better than that. Unfortunately, it was not the right day to be sitting next to Brazilians. But
Yeah.
Yes, lots of passion.
yeah, so that was not necessarily my favorite memory, but it was a very memorable memory. I have my favorite memories are really from our retreats, I think, and watching the progress of students from their first retreat as they, develop their talents in presenting their data, from the second retreat and third retreat and fourth retreat and so on, and watching it just get better and better and better. So I think those are some of my favorite memories of the program. But it's not about me, it's about you. To what extent did the program help you achieve your goal of where you are right now? And you've all been highly successful. I'm very proud of all of you. It's an incredible group of people. And so can you tell us, like, what's the most, I mean, I think you already have told us all about, but is there anything else you can think of that helped you to achieve your goals right now?
I think something that I will bring with me forever is Sanford Burnham helped me build my confidence and make me understand how important persistence is, and not be afraid of asking for help. I think those are three things that are very valuable for me, that the program significantly contributed to, and they're gonna allow me to succeed in the future too.
I think for me, the multiple opportunities to present our work. So at the beginning, I was very shy and I did not like to go up there and talk about my research. But through the years, I did get better, and it's such a useful skill and tool on how to make a presentation. And that's something that I've carried over to my current position. And that's also something that's very important for teaching. So that to me has been the greatest asset.
Yeah, communication has always been the rate limiting step in so many parts and in my career. And so being able to really be forced to have an emphasis on communication is something that really enabled me in many, many aspects. So I have that to thank as well.
I think it's everything together, all of the opportunities that you guys provide to the students. So with panels, with retreats, practicing, and for me, especially bringing the opportunity to teach with the CARE program. So that just expose us to so many different things and then maybe, brings an idea that I had before. So for me, I have never considered just teaching prior to having the experience that with the CARE program teaching high school students. So just exposing all of us to so many different things, giving us the opportunity, I think that makes a big difference. And also a little bit what Philip said at the beginning, how easy it was to create collaboration between different labs, and that exposed us to a little bit of a different research and a different perspective than you have if you're just focused on your PhD thesis. So all the collaboration that the whole institute are open to, and all the great things that the Sanford Burnham provide us just makes a big difference.
Yeah, I think answering that question that we all had, going through our our projects was, what's that big question and how can we answer that? And having those collaborations, having the ability to go over to the core, sequencing group, going over to the, core mass spec group and saying, hey, how can we answer this question? Can we use this technology to do this? Or how can we do this? I think giving that flexibility and that ability to basically collaborate with groups really helps that graduate student, help me answer my questions for, longevity and aging, and to defend my. I really, admire the school and the program and guiding everybody around that.
So I got one more question for you. Apart from getting you invited to the virtual happy hour, is there any other way we could improve the program, do you think?
Yes, so how the students get exposure to other universities or companies if they think they may be interested to go in there, like give presentations. So let's say there is a student that may be interested in joining 3 potential labs at Stanford, for example. Help them get a presentation once they have a more structured talk at that university to give them exposure.
Yeah, following along that thread, I think it would be very helpful to, if it hasn't been instituted already, is to just, I don't know how this would be incorporated, but like a general structure of what a biotech company looks like and the different divisions and how things go together. And like, say, this is a pharma company. It has, finance, HR, it has, the early drug development, it has, these various things. Oh, and by the way, this is what a career trajectory looks like inside of a biotech company. Like for a diagnostics company, there's individual contributors and there are managers, and individual contributors go this. Sometimes they get 1 or 2 reports. Managers are expected to have more broad things here. Individual contributors are expected to have these kind of skills. Managers are this. And then you have these different divisions. They interact together like this. If there's something that, to me, that was a huge learning experience, and something too that has provided a frame of reference for a lot of things moving forward. And if there's some way to incorporate those learnings with the program currently, that would provide students such a leg up if they wanted to go into biotech. But also some of those may come didactically or from teachings. Some of it may just be interactions with folks who are currently in industry to learn more about what are the different roles and what are the possibilities. And so, I think that there's so much potential there. And I think in general, though, the kind of one of the underlying philosophies of the program, which is that, look, we're training scientists for the 21st century. The world needs science more than ever now. And we're going to train people to do a variety of different roles and go into a variety of different paths so that they can improve things for other people and use science for positive impacts. And so I feel that carrying that philosophy through and providing more context surrounding those areas, maybe having those panels that have been successful before, and if there's the opportunity for either learnings or by tapping upon the network, I think these are all things that are super duper important and can really help future students.
One suggestion I have is to have the program reach out to main companies that might be, or universities, like potential, the next stage of the students, and talk more about the program. Maybe not all the companies have heard about the program before. When you say you have a PhD, everybody immediately assumes it's from maybe UCSD. So maybe work on, spreading the word about the program with the companies. So when they receive a resume, for example, with students coming from Sanford Burnham, they know what's about, they know everything, all the efforts that the programs put on the students. So it's like, so the program has more visibility among those companies. I think that will be useful for students that are current in the program right now. Good,
very good, people. I'm taking notes here about this, but it sounds like you're just volunteering for a workshop.
Maybe.
Volunteering for participants in our next career workshop. And that's great. I mean, that's the way it should be. That's great because you have the experience. You're the best to go to people.
To help.
Yeah, but expanding our footprint into both companies and academic institutions in terms of letting them know what we're doing will probably involve you as well. You understand that, right? If you're making that suggestion.
100%.
Good. Okay. Michaela, do you want to pop back in and give us the benefit of your advice?
Yes. So first of all, I must say that Guy hand-selected all of you, and I think he did a wonderful job in doing so, because I really enjoyed listening in on this conversation. And I think just as a sign-off, you may have already answered this in some form, but I'm wondering what would be one thing that you would tell a prospective student who's interested in SBP?
For me, will be Sanford Burnham. The graduate program at Sanford Burnham has your back. Don't worry, you'll be able to succeed.
And along those lines, the mentoring, it's one-on-one. Your mentor tailors their mentoring to you, the support and constant encouragement. I feel that as a PhD student, you have your highs and you have your lows, and it's very important to have that community support to make sure that you get to your finish line and to achieve your dreams.
I would say make sure you participate in all the programs that are offered, all the panels, all of the retreats. Make sure to participate in everything. Take advantage of the connections that you can make up with those opportunities.
I'd echo that. I say take initiative, meet people, get to know your classmates, get to know people peripheral to the Institute, get to know, take advantage of the incredible diversity of technology and companies and academia that exists within the Torrey Pines Mesa and beyond in San Diego.
Enjoy the research, enjoy your life.
It's all about the passion.
Yes, it's all about passion.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining us for this interview / discussion and formation of the alumni network. This is, I guess, the beginning of the formation of that network, and we'll extend it a little bit along the lines that you recommend, and we'll be, I guess, interacting a little bit more with Michaela about how she wants to pursue this. But I want to thank you all for taking the time to come back to your old school and give us the benefit of your experience and your advice. And you're all doing great. We're very proud of you. And just keep on going, to the heights you've achieved so far. Keep on, pushing ahead in the way you are. You're a very diverse group, and diversity is the strength of our program. It's the strength of our institute. It's the strength of our culture. And it's really great to see you guys.
Nice to see you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Always a
much.
pleasure.
Great to see you all.
Good evening, everybody.
Bye. We'll see you again sometime soon, I hope.
Very soon.
Connect us again.
Nice seeing you.
Goodbye, Paula. Goodbye, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.